Yo, K-Kunnnn here. Today I got early access to S-Anby, which I'll be calling Sanby from now on. So without any more further delays, let's get into the video. So Sanby is a lightning attacker agent, Reparomasa, who specializes in the new attack system called Aftershock mechanic, which is basically coordinated attacks as seen by how Pulchra's attacks are without being on field. Well, she's technically still on field, but you get the point. We're not controlling her right now. So let's get into her kit and get an understanding of how Sanby works. So starting with Sanby's basic attack, it is a 5-hit combo with her 4th basic attack doing a dash attack that hits the enemies 5 times. You can spam click or just hold your attack button to dash 5 times, and you can still hold it until your final hit so that you won't really get like finger fatigue or something. Which leads me to her unique mechanic called the Silver Star Mark, the circle on the enemies with some stars called the White Thunder, and it can stack up to 3 times. When you finally do get all the stacks, you can press your skill button to consume the stacks and do a lot of damage to the enemies, and you're invulnerable while doing this. Also note, you don't have to get to 3 stacks to do this move. You can do like 1 or 2 stacks, but for damage efficiency, 3 stacks is the way to go, because another attack called the Thunder Smite will do AoE damage on the enemies, which is not really a big AoE, but it's still AoE. So you always want to have 3 stacks to activate this mechanic on her kit. If you have enough energy, you can basically get 3 stacks by holding your skill and consuming said energy and doing your press skill to do a lot of damage in mere seconds. Yo, future K-Kunnnn here. So manager-san messaged me and said there were changes to Anby's kit a little bit, so I'll just basically read it out. In the media server, after using Anby's SP skill E, you can chain into the 3rd hit of her basic attack. But in the official version, after using Anby's SP skill E, you can chain into the 2nd hit of her basic attack. The invincibility frames are relatively reduced. This results in a slight difference in feel. So basically the footages that I have recorded of S-Anby or Sanby is in the previous version of the media server. So in the official launch of the new patch, her SP skill E and her basic attack will be different from the footage that I have recorded. So just be aware of that. Anyways, on to the video. And her silver mark doesn't really disappear. It's always on the enemy all the time. When you switch to another character, the UI indicator will just disappear, but the stacks are still there. If you switch back to Sanby, it will reappear. So don't worry about the marks disappearing out of nowhere. There's no time limit to it, like your dad buying some milk and never returning. Where? Now her dodge and parry is nothing special. It's the stock standard with some cool attack animations from Sanby. It does help you get 1 thunder stack, so weaving in your dodge attacks and parrying while basic attacking with Anby is a shockingly fast way to get her stacks quickly. Get it? Cause like she's electric? Okay, I'll stop being cringe. Now her ult is a cool slice and dice X finisher, giving her max stack to do her skill slashes. Ideally you want to use this when the enemy is stunned, but hey, you can do it without them being stunned as well, so it should be fine. On to her core passive, and thank god it's not a freaking scientific thesis. So basically, Sanby will do 14.5% more damage to enemies with the silver mark on them, and they will take increased crit damage from aftershock attacks by 17.5% of Sanby's crit damage. So you basically want to stack as much as crit damage on her, and characters like Pulchra and Trigger will love this buff, and probably future upcoming characters that uses like the Aftershock mechanic. Her additional ability is activated by having a stunner or support character on the team, and the ability says that Sanby will get a 10% crit rate increase, and when she's on field, the Aftershock damage to the enemies with Silver Star Mark increases by 25%, so you get the point, more damage on the Aftershock. And these are my stats on her, pretty decent. This is with her like signature Wengie as well. Now let's move on to the skills priority, which is based on my own understanding of her kit. First off, core passive, then EX skill, thirdly basic attacks, ultimate, then you can equally like upgrade like the dodge, parry, assist. It depends on you, man. Now let's move on to the disk drives and Wengie. And side note here, I legit thought Sanby was a bit of a flatty. I got baited by her like 2D illustration, and it's really well hidden with her like green outfit. And also a cute detail is her hairpin, man. Like look at it, it's a freaking hamburger. It really shows her character and passion for hamburgers. But anyways, disk drives obviously use the new set that's basically one-to-one to her design called the Shadow Harmony that buffs dash attacks, aftershock damage, and the 4-piece gives you 4% attack and 4% crit rate that stacks up to 3 times, and it lasts for 15 seconds, so it helps in building crit rate on her. And I'm using a Branch and Blade Song, aka Miyabi's Disk Drive disc, but you can use like the crit rate set, which is like Woodpecker Electro. If somehow you don't have enough crit rate on her, that's just kind of skill issue, just get better luck, bro. Now here's what stats I'm running on her. Obviously the first 3 is flat attack, like HP and defense. The 4th depends on if you lack crit rate, go crit rate, or crit damage if you lack crit damage. 5th is basically electric or pen ratio if you're running Rena, and 6 is attack obviously. Here is the substat priority. Crit rate or crit damage, but leaning more on the crit damage since aftershock scales on that. Attack percentage, attack or pen, and lastly anomaly proficiency at the end. Now Wengie, obviously her signature Wengie is her best, giving her 30% crit damage, and when doing basic attack, special attack, aftershock attacks, you'll get maximum 3 stacks that gives her 10% more crit damage per stack and 20% electric damage with 3 stacks that lasts for 30 seconds, and it can be triggered once per use of a skill literally made for her. If you have Brimstone, use it on her. If you have the BP weapon, use it on her. The best F2P one is the Marcado's Desired, the limited Wengie, so if you didn't get it, kinda unlucky, bro. Pray the ZZZ devs put it on like a shop in the future like HSR. If you have the Gilded Dreams, I guess you can use it on her. You don't have any other options, but the Starlight Wengie is your best friend as an F2P. Other Wengies, kinda meh on her. Now let's get into the hazard zone, the whale territory zone. So Mindscape 1. When S-Anby's EX skill special hits an enemy, it will trigger the additional effects of the White Tiger 3 times. This will consume all White Tiger stacks. M2, S-Anby gets crit rate increased by 12%. When she uses her ult, she gains 6 stacks of Thunder Cry. With Thunder's Cry, when using special skill Azure Flash to hit an enemy with White Thunder, it will consume 1 stack of Thunder's Cry instead. Only 1 stack of Thunder's Cry can be consumed per use of a skill, and consuming Thunder's Cry will activate the additional damage from White Thunder. So basically more freaking damage on top of damage, bro. So M4 is basically ignoring like 12% of electric res on the enemy. So M6 is this. Upon triggering 6 instances of White Thunder's additional damage, an electromagnetic vortex will be generated, dealing 1000% of Soldier Amby's freaking attack as electric damage. This damage is considered aftershock damage, so another big fat nuke on the enemies, rest in peace. So here's my rotation on her, which can vary from different elites and bosses. So take it away, unscripted version of me. Yo, unscripted version of me here. So we're doing the Notorious Hunt the Butcher over here, so we're just gonna do a simple showcase of my rotation of how I'm playing this team over here. So I'm using Astra Yao, Amby, and then Pulcra to do the aftershock damage, and there you go. And we could probably parry here, and never mind, I could just an EX skill with her, and now we can activate Pulcra's aftershock. There we go, pretty nice. And then we could do another one here, do like an evasive assist, so we can get her attacks over here. And then see, this team is just going in, doing full damage like this, and yeah, there we go. And just like around like 48 seconds, or like at least 40, because I was just stalling in the front there, it should be clean. Now we can start bonking him. Okay, I don't think it's a good idea to... Okay, now we can do an EX kill and then switch back, and then EX here, and then do hold her EX skill to do more stacks on those, so we can keep dashing. Then hopefully we can parry anytime soon. I could just do an EX skill over here, and then we could do an ult to interrupt what he's doing right now and get more stacks, and then surely he will die. Okay, never mind. Surely this time? Okay, last one. And we could probably finish her with Pulcra's ult, surely. Okay, there we go. And this should probably kill. And there we go. Final finisher. Bowing 3 enemies. But yeah, so that's pretty much the usual rotation which you will go through using Anby and Pulchra together. And of course, you can put anybody here in this flex slot over here. It doesn't have to be Astra. It could be Nicole, Lucy, maybe Caesar. Anybody can be a part of this third slot over here. Now for team options. As you can see, this is one of my favorite ones out of the bunch that I have made up. I'll show you later, but usually this team, I put Astra in the first slot, which is over here, Anby on the second, and Pulchra on the third one, which means I basically use Astra's E to switch into the Anby, and then whenever I see like a yellow flash, I immediately go to Pulchra so that she can do her evasive assist, and then it will activate her Hunter's Gate, and we can switch back to Anby with her quick assist and then start going ham on Anby and then doing her freaking dash attacks with her skill, and then activating Pulchra's like aftershock attacks or like her coordinated attacks. So the placement of this team kind of matters, especially when you're doing like Pulchra. So for example, if I were to put like Pulchra around here in the first slot, I would have to put Anby in this third slot over here so that it can go back to the previous character. So that's why I have Anby in the second slot, so that Pulchra can go back to Anby in the second slot, since her Hunter's Gate activates to the previous character. Yeah, here are some of the teams that I came up with. Personally, these two are probably the most comfort picks you can think of. Asria doing pretty much nothing, just singing in the background, providing some buffs. This one's the comfiest team, obviously. Kingpin over here, you'll have a shield which will boost Anby's attack, and of course it will boost Pulchra's attack for a while, and then you just switch back to Anby, and then Anby will get the shield and the buff, and plus you'll get protection so you won't get like interrupted. And here's like a free to play option. I mean, Nicole is pretty much good anywhere here. Like, she literally does like her defense shred stuff, and you can pretty much clear some of the end game stuff with this team if you just know how to like rotate with Nicole and with these trios over here. And obviously similar thing with the Lucy, Pulchra, and Anby over here. Pretty much first slot you have to use like Lucy's E, and then she will switch into Anby or Pulchra depending on which placement you do. But yeah, here's also a pretty good team as well. This one's pretty stock standard. If you have like Rina, you can put like pen ratio on the fifth slot of Anby, and this one works pretty well as well. I kind of like this one since it's similar to the first, third, and then the fourth squad, since it will just basically like quick assist into Anby, and you can start doing your damage phase, and then whenever the yellow flash shows up, switch to Pulchra and she will do her Hunter's Gate stuff and coordinated attacks if you EX skill or skill with Anby. And squad 6 over here, okay, just imagine 4-star Anby is trigger, so you could probably slot in someone in the third slot over here instead of Pulchra. Maybe like Astra or like another support could probably do like a dual combo aftershock team over here, which is probably interesting, not gonna lie. And second here over here, last squad is Chingy, Anby, and then Astra. So this team is probably the most bread and butter team over here. You just go on field with Chingy, start doing her damage phase and stunning phase, and then switch into the Anby to do her stuff over here and doing her damage phase while the enemy is stunned. Of course, you have to build some stacks for her so that she can immediately do like big PP damage when the boss is stunned. But yeah, obviously Astra here, no brainer. She's probably one of the best and easiest supports to use in this game right now. So yeah, here are the teams. You could probably use them, try them out, experiment with them, see what you like and see what you don't like. Try them out when the server is live, yeah? So what is her poll value? Is she worth it? I'd say if you don't have another DPS, try getting her. If you just like Anby, get her. If you're an endgame player, it's up to you, man. If you like her playstyle, she's pretty fun to play around with. She covers the electric element, so if you haven't built Harumasa, then I'd say she's probably a better pick than him. Her damage is pretty good even without the enemies being stunned, so here is my pros and cons of her. Pros, big PP damage without the enemy being stunned, dual blade fast-paced gameplay, decent iframes when you use her special attacks, covers the electric element for enemies that are weak to electric, master of the aftershock mechanic, and probably will help damage boosting it in the future for upcoming characters. If you get her Wengie, it's pretty much good for any electric attackers in the future. And S-Anby, cause S-Anby. How can you not like S-Anby? Cons, she needs more aftershock supports since it's just trigger and pulchra, and you probably want M6 pulchra if you're free to play. Damage numbers blocked by the UI stacks indicator, like legit if you're trying to fight like small enemies that has like humanoid anatomy, the Tyrant enemies and freaking Jane Doe, bro, good luck looking at her freaking stack indicators because those damage numbers stack upon each other and you can't see shit with that. So the way to just avoid this issue or a con is just by turning off damage numbers. If the enemy isn't aggressive enough, getting stacks takes a while to build up if you don't have energy. Kinda wants her signature Wengie, not necessary, but it feels so good on her. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this early access video for S-Anby. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for the long-awaited 5-star variant? Because since the start of the game, I wanted to see the mysterious backstory of this burger-loving Kudere character. But yeah, anyways, subscribe so I can stay in the basement, like for the algorithm, and this is pretty much late, I know, but thank you for 1K subscribers. I hit it like 1 month ago, but yeah, thank you so much for your guys' support. I'm just the guy on the internet who won the RNG with posting shit posts and likes to stare at hot anime women respectfully. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out my pulchra video if you haven't. Bye! Mwah!